Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's Russell with Ink and Paper Blog. Happy Saturday. I hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend. It is an amazing day here in Northern California. It is beautiful outside and I hope to be reading very, very soon. I haven't gotten much reading done yet this weekend, so I need to get on it. But I am ready and I am going to be cuddling up in some sunshine, some dogs, and some books right as soon as this video is done. But today's video is to go back to one of the series on my channel that I know a lot of you guys really like, and it is the 5 backlist books you may have missed. The slight difference in this one is these are actually 5 backlist books that I have picked up recently for myself. Books that have been recommended to me, things that I just found on the shelves, and you know, whatever. I'll tell you exactly how they wound up in my hands as we go through them. So as I always say, get out your pen, get out your paper, get out your Goodreads, get out however you take care of your TBR. Order them from your independent bookstores and order them from your library, however you get the books you read. They are very, very eclectic, so I'm super excited to share them with you. So without further ado, let's get started. The first book I want to tell you about, hold on one second here, is What We Owe by Gonaz Hashemzadeh Bonde. I'm going to hold her name up there. And it is translated by Elizabeth Clark Wessel. Now, the author has a really interesting history. She fled Iran, where she was born in 1983, to Stockholm and Sweden, and she graduated from the Stockholm School of Economics, where she was named one of the 50 Goldman Sachs global leaders. This is her first novel, but she currently lives in Stockholm with her husband and her children. This book focuses on a woman who, in her 50s, has been diagnosed with a terminal illness. And on the same day that she finds out sort of this news, she also finds out that her daughter is about to have her first grandchild. And this book is sort of that apex between realizing your life and what you have left to live, and the excitement that comes with a grandchild and the life that they are about to start to live, and what your part and your role in that is. Now, I have a feeling, you guys know I like myself a sad book. I have a feeling I'm gonna cry. I'm so ready for it. The reason, this was actually recommended to me by one of the booksellers at Books Inc. in Campbell, California. And then what really sold it for me is that there is a blurb on the front cover by Lenny Zumas that says, "I read this ferocious novel in one sitting enthralled." So there you go. If you need a real opinion, Lenny tells you to read it. So that's all you need. So that's What We Owe by Gonaz Hashemzadeh Bonde. And I'm apologizing if I'm saying any of that wrong. And again, translated by Elizabeth Clark Wessel. So I love that cover too. I could really just stare at it. So speaking of Miss Lenny Zumas, as you guys know, I went book shopping with her when I was in Portland this Christmas. And she recommended for me this book, which is Spider by Patrick McGrath. And yeah, so one, I love sort of how datedly wonderful this cover is. I just think it's fantastic. This is the story of Spider, who moves back to London after a 20-year absence and sits down to write his memoirs. It focuses on his childhood, where his father is having an affair with a prostitute, which is destroying his mother. One day, his mother finds his father and this prostitute. I think the blurb says in flagrante. Is that how it says it? Yes, in flagrante. And something happens that changes Spider's life forever, psychologically and emotionally. And I just thought that what was really interesting is I love the idea of an unreliable narrator. And I love that idea of reminiscing, telling a journal. But this book starts with this sentence, which I just think is really interesting. It says, "I've always found it odd that I can recall incidents from my boyhood with clarity and precision. And yet, events that happened yesterday are blurred, and I have no confidence in my ability to remember them accurately at all." So interestingly enough, his current life is going to be sort of told from the unreliable narrator perspective, maybe. And then his past life is going to be told with clarity. I think that's a really interesting one-sentence conundrum that definitely made me want to read Spider by Patrick McGrath. there you go. Okay, that book's been out for a while, as you can tell. The next book I picked up, as you guys know, if you watch my read and reviewed videos, I just read Tara Conklin's latest novel, The Last Romantics, and I absolutely loved it. So I ran out right away and picked up The House Girl, which was her debut novel. This is a story told in two time periods. One is from a point of view of a lawyer in New York City in current times who is putting together a lawsuit to seeking reparations for the descendants of the American slaves. The other story is the story of Josephine, who is a slave in Virginia, who I believe decides to go on the run. I'm not exactly sure, but she is a slave on a tobacco farm in Virginia. And then, of course, those two stories are going to have to intertwine, right? As I said, and will tell you, The Last Romantics just came out by Tara Conklin, is fantastic. So I'm super excited about this. It's a gorgeous cover, and that is The House Girl by Tara Conklin. Okay. This book was really purchased because of Simon Savage mentioned he is doing that challenge where he is reading nonfiction books by women about women, and he had talked about the Mitford sister letters. And I've tried to hunt that collection of letters down here, and I'm having a hard time trying really hard not to order it from the Big A. So I'm still on the search. But what I did find in my local bookstore was this collection of two of Nancy Mitford's novels, The Pursuit of Love and Love in a Cold Climate by Vintage. Isn't this cover just so gorgeously dated? I love it. This is two novels. The first, so Nancy Mitford, from what I can tell, she based her novels sort of upon her own family, which, according to what I've heard about the letters of the sisters, is quite eccentric. And this is the story of the Radlets. So we have an uncle and an aunt and 7 children, and their cousin Franny, who I believe is sort of the person who tells the story looking in upon this family. The first story, The Pursuit of Love, is about Linda Radlet, and it is, what does it say here? She is, this is sort of her romantic misadventures, if you will. The second book is Love in a Cold Climate, focuses on Polly, who is a prominent socialite until a love affair gone wrong sort of changes everything. So it's going to have that sort of scandal aspect to it for the time period. I'm hoping this is everything as just, pulpily wonderful as it sounds. I'm hoping also to get a little bit of Jane Austen-y / Barbara Pymmy vibes. I don't know. I haven't read any Nancy Mitford, but everything about what she stands for sounds like it is right up my alley. So I'm super excited about this. So this is The Pursuit of Love and Love in a Cold Climate, 2 novels by Nancy Mitford. Last but not least is the most recent purchase that I picked up. And I really picked it up because it made the long list for the Women's Prize, and that is Ordinary People by Diana Evans. I don't know much about this book other than the fact that I knew it had to do with 2 couples going through different things in their lives and how they sort of go in and out of each other's lives. So this one's going to be a blurby read for me a little bit, so I apologize. But it says, in a crooked house in South London, Melissa and Michael have a new baby and ancient problems. Melissa feels more and more that she's defined by motherhood alone, having transitioned to freelance work and to be home with the children. Her partner, Michael, mourns the thrill and spark of their earlier romance, listening with nostalgia to their old playlists and wondering what happened to the Melissa of his memories. Meanwhile, in the suburbs, Damien and Stephanie enter a year of marital disquiet, catalyzed by the death of Damien's Trinidadian activist father. Damien wrestles with the legacy of his father's political passion, while Stephanie aspires to a life of peace and middle-class comforts. I know it's set in 2008, and I know it says, it's 2008 and a breeze of optimism has swept over America with Barack Obama's inauguration. Longtime friends from the years when passion seems permanent, the couples have stayed in touch, gathering for births and anniversaries, bonding over the discussions of politics, race, and music. I think all of that sounds really great. Everyone I know that has read Diana Evans' first book really enjoyed it. And so everything about that sounds like something I would absolutely love. So this is Ordinary People. This is by Diana Evans, and I am really actually quite excited about it. So that is 5 backlist books. Have you guys read any of them? Are any of them books that you would recommend to me now that you know that I bought them? Where would you start on this wonderful list? So, as always, if you are a return subscriber, thank you guys so much. You know how much I appreciate you. If you are new to my channel, I hope you guys stick around and you get some new content from me. And as always, I wish you happy reading until next time, and I will talk to you later. Bye!